It's Carolyn Brown here. I'm a career coach and the founder of the Straight to Shortlist Challenge, and welcome back to my channel. So in this video, I'm going to try out answering that dreaded interview question, tell me about yourself, so you don't have to. And why am I doing it this way instead of just telling you what to do? Well, pretty much every career coach is doing just that, telling you what to do, which is okay, but I don't believe you give the best advice without personally trying on that advice and seeing how well it works. So what I've done is I've found two simple frameworks on how to answer the question, tell me about yourself. These frameworks come from a communications expert, Karen Thompson, who's the founder of Communicate You. Framework 1 is past, present and future. Framework 2 is present, past and future. So I need to mention something from my past, something from my present and something from my future. And the future bit is a pitch for me in that role. It's why that role appeals to me. Now this bit is really critical. Whatever I say in my answer needs to be relevant to the job I'm going for. I've filmed myself using these frameworks in front of Karen and getting her feedback. Now, to keep it as realistic as possible, I'm applying for a similar role to what I do now, which is a career coach, but this is a career coach in a much larger company. I want you to watch these two versions and be honest with me in the comments below about which one you think is better. And of course, if you see value in this video, I'd love it if you give it the thumbs up. So I scripted out my answer using the framework, something from my past, something from my present, something from my future. You can pause the video here and read it for yourself. All right, let's try my answer on in front of Karen and see what she thinks.
Carolyn, it's lovely to meet you. Tell me a bit about yourself. Who are you?
So I've always been a great reader and love writing, and in fact I was put into the advanced English class as one of only 10 people in that class in high school. And in my last corporate role, the general manager said to me that I was one of only 2 people in that company who could actually write. So that's what kickstarted me down the path of working as a career coach in the Straight to Shortlist Challenge. It's given me a great opportunity to combine my love of writing when I write LinkedIn profiles with my love of helping people when I coach them to find a job. I love combining my writing skills with helping people, and that's why I'm really interested in your role, because it offers the opportunity to do just that. But instead of working in a small team, I'll be in a much larger and supportive team.
Okay. Well, feedback. Overall, the approach is good because, you talked about your past, what you wanted to be. I would potentially just slim that down a little bit. I don't need to know that you're one of 10 kids in an advanced class at that point, because maybe down the track, it's further in the interview that might come out. But the first thing that I want to know is get to know who you are. Mm-hmm. So the fact that when you're saying in very early in the piece, I was one of 10 people who was chosen for this, it sort of tells me, obviously, that you're very good, but it comes across as a bit almost braggy.
Oh, okay. I didn't want to do that.
So I'm being very frank here. So yeah, but telling me that you always were really interested in reading and writing, and you were great at it at school, and you had an employer who's pointed stuff out to you. That is all good. But yes, it maybe just
a bit too braggy
down the braggy bit.
Okay, done. Yeah. Tick. Excellent. All right, so that was the version past, present, future. I want to do the other version that you had, which is, pause dramatically. This one's present, past, future. So where I am currently, what I've done in the past, and how I can see my future. So here's the script I came up with for present, past, and future. You can pause the video and read it for yourself. Let's fire again. Sit me down and ask me to tell me about yourself.
All right, Carolyn, welcome. It's a beautiful day. Come in, have a seat. Now let's start by you telling me all about yourself.
So I'm currently working as a career coach running the Straight to Shortlist Challenge. And in doing that, I've really loved the opportunity to build my clients' confidence and clarity around what they want to do next in their career. But now, instead of working alone, I'd really love the opportunity to work with a team of other professionals so we can learn and grow together. And that's what I love about your opportunity, because I've heard fantastic things about your working culture?
Okay, that's excellent. I think you really nailed that, because what you did is you said, where I am now, and how you loved helping people, and that's always been part of your career. And then you have put yourself in the role, and moving forward into the future, because you've noticed that you've seen obviously that there's a bigger team, there's bigger opportunities, there's people to work with, and so that's what you want in your future.
Fantastic. So now, have I got the job from that?
Oh, well, we've got to go through the rest of the interview.
Okay. No, so that one was shorter. Like the first one was longer. For me, it felt like you would then come in and ask me some questions.
More questions. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. As I said, it's, it all depends on the situation at the time, and obviously the role and the person that you're talking to, how comfortable you feel with them, whether they're leaning in and perhaps listening intently and wanting to hear more, and you can sense that, particularly as you're an experienced careers coach as well.
You think I'd nail that. But actually that's really interesting, because and it's one of the reasons I wanted to do this video, was to actually put myself in the shoes of people, because I think for me, in answering those questions, it had to be genuine and come from the heart. So I really would have had to do that research, but also that sort of research on myself. And it does feel a bit strange jumping in and answering that question.
Yep. No, it can be a hard one to answer, and that's why you really need to prepare. And as I said, by having that framework and breaking it down, it just enables you to tell your story, eloquently, as you did, particularly on that second time. Whether you're using the past, present, future, or the present, past, future, it really depends on yourself. But of course, you want to, as you did, bring in elements in your answer that are going to be applicable to that role, to that organisation, because it has to all be relevant.
Okay, here are my takeouts from going through this process. First of all, I don't reckon you've got 1 to 2 minutes to answer this question. My first answer was 45 seconds only, and I reckon I lost Karen. I may have lost her because I was a bit braggy, but I do think it was also because of the length. My second answer was just 21 seconds, so half the length of my first answer. But I reckon that 21 seconds was enough for me to land an important 2 or 3 points, and they were points that possibly Karen could pick up on further on in the interview. And keeping it succinct really stopped me waffling on into irrelevant things. Secondly, if you're using this framework where the final part of this is to pitch yourself in the job in the future, you do need to know what that job's about, what that company's about, what that culture is about, for example, because if you don't, you're actually going to be pitching yourself into the wrong job. So I mentioned things like team and great working culture and not working alone. Imagine if I was actually working alone in this job, that would have been the end of me in the interview in the first 20 seconds. The third thing that struck me is just how important it is to say your answer out loud and to practice your answer, and ideally to practice it with a professional like Karen, because her feedback on me sounding a bit braggy was absolute gold. I wouldn't have known it otherwise. I would have been using my answer in lots of interviews and wondering why I wasn't getting the job. So I'm going to leave a link to Karen's website in the description below. And I suggest that if you're struggling in an interview or in communicating your strengths and skills, make sure you reach out to Karen. And lastly, this is my biggest takeaway, and I reckon this is the most important bit. It might sound obvious, but you really do need to be enthusiastic and actually want the job that you're going to go for, because I reckon I sounded a bit wooden or quite formal. And the reason I sounded like that was I was making it up. It's not that great to be sitting in an interview making things up. People will be able to pick it pretty quickly. So if I was genuine about that job, I think it would have come across much more in my body language and in my tone and in my enthusiasm. And these are all things that the interviewer is going to be taking into consideration because they want to be able to picture you in that role. So I hope you found what I did with Karen to be insanely useful. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you like this video and you want to see more like this, please subscribe. I'd love it if you tried out this framework and leave how you go in the comments below. And I'll see you in the next video.